Hey everyone, what is up? What is good? Welcome back to another YouTube video on the Arrow Off Script channel. Today we are going to be reading some Am I the Asshole? Reddits. Now, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. Major bear with me. So here is the first one. Let us read. Am I the asshole for not Oops, sorry. Am I the a-hole for wanting a divorce with... Oh, God, I can't read. Am I the a-hole for wanting a divorce my husband doesn't want and risking no relationship with his child? Well, let us find out. Okay, my husband, 32 male, and I, a 30-year-old female, have been married for 11 years. Been married since you were like 20-something? 20... Not 29. You've been married since you were 19. I'm doing math right? Anyway, he is in the military and we have lived all over the place. During this time, I have taken on most of, if not all, the household chores, grocery shopping, cleaning, cooking, and laundry. And when needed, he has mowed the lawn and mowed. Why'd I read moved? He has mowed the lawn, hung stuff up on walls. I have, for most of our marriage, had a job as well. I asked in the past for help around the house, and it was not even considered. He, in fact, threatened to eat off the paper plates or eat fast food so that I wouldn't have to worry about his dishes. Fast forward to now, we have a 13-month-old baby. I have stayed home since birth and I'm still cooking, cleaning, laundry, groceries, pets, all on me. I again decided to revisit the topic as I'm feeling so burnt out. I breastfeed all night, am responsible for bath time, feeding baby for mealtime, clean up after meal time, and dishes. He thinks going to work is enough, that I'm not grateful for him working since I'm asking him to help me around the house. I told him why are we married then? I can just get a job and do it all myself still. I'll find a way. He reluctantly, agreed to helping after I mentioned this would be it for me. The following week, every time he fed the baby or changed the baby or put food away after dinner, it was always a comment of, I hope this is enough, or am I doing enough? We got home one day after grocery shopping. I got the baby out of the car seat and went to the other side to grab a few bags. He said, no, I got it. I said, please let me grab some. He said, no. As we're walking inside, he says, I hope breaking my back is enough for you. Like, I can't win. I told him it's like he's punishing me for asking for help. I mentioned a divorce and he said if we divorce, he isn't going to be involved in our child's life. He said, and I quote, it's all or nothing. He says he doesn't want a divorce. We currently live overseas and divorce would mean me moving back to the States near family with our baby while he stays at his duty station. Am I the a-hole for considering divorcing my husband knowing that he would choose not to know his own child? How can I do this to our baby? But how can I live like this? Am I asking for too much? Okay. These videos always have my opinion in it, so let's do this. Personally, I really don't think you're the a-hole. I don't know how long this has been going on where he kind of says like, oh, well, is me putting the dishes enough for you? And stuff like that. Like, honestly, that's like the bare minimum. Like, I understand that you are in the military, but he also needs to understand that you're taking care of a 13-month-old child. Like, the mom is taking care of this kid all the time. So, like, yeah, you're gonna feel burnt out. But what he needs to understand, your husband, needs to also understand that it is also his responsibility to take care of the child as well and also clean the house. Like, buddy, I get it, you're in the military, but that doesn't excuse you from not helping around here and there. Like, the fact that he makes those comments of like, I hope this is enough, or like, am I doing enough for you, and stuff like that, that proves to me that he kind of lacks that confidence, or he just thinks so highly of himself, and he doesn't actually understand what it's like. Because, like, yeah, sure, the military is very demanding, but at the same time, it's like, taking care of a child and cleaning an entire house and cooking meals and doing laundry and all that stuff is also very taxing on the body. Like, you gave birth 13 months ago, so yeah, that's a year and a month ago, but still, that is a lot. So, this was 4 hours ago, so let us read some of the comments. he would choose not to know his own child. How can I do this to our baby? Read that out loud several times. He's literally telling you that he doesn't love his own child. Is that someone you want raising your child? Contact your family and start making plans to return home. I do agree. I do agree. Um, like honestly, the fact that like he even said like he genuinely wouldn't care to not know his kid, that means he doesn't care. And it's all or nothing. Nothing. I don't think he knows what it means to be married. Or to be in any type of relationship, whether it be dating or friendship or family, it goes both ways. So both sides have to put in the effort, and if he's not willing to put in the effort, then he's already given you nothing. So I don't consider you the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Personally, I like to believe not the a-hole. All right, so let's move on to the second one. This one was posted 14 hours ago, and this one is really, really, really long. So, pray for me because I'm kind of blind. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that he would be responsible for his daughter from now on? So, my stepdaughter is about 13 years old. She has primarily lived with us since she has been 5.5. Over the years, I have loved her and treated her like she was my own daughter. Even after having kids of my own, I never treated her differently. Over the last year, she has started becoming a habitual liar. She lies about stupid stuff and big stuff. Examples of things she's lied about: feeding the dog, who she's talking to, where she's met people at, if she did her chores, crushes at school. She's even made completely made up situations like being kissed, asked out, getting into fights. All things we have caught her lying about, and she will continue to lie to us until the proof is in her face. The biggest thing is earlier in December, she took my little one downstairs and offered to watch him and my two younger ones while I slept a little in the morning. I work nights and my husband was at work. She asked what time I was getting up, and I told her 9 a.m., which was in like 30 minutes. I wake up and she was gone. Her and the dog were gone. My 6-month-old was in his bouncer crying, and my daughter, who is 6 years old, got my dish soap and smeared it all over the bathroom, then locked herself in when she heard me coming. My son, 4 years old, said she took the dog for a walk. She has no cell phone. I got the situation at home taken care of, and she still wasn't home. I realized it's been an hour, and I go out and start looking for her. We live in a small town. I searched for 3 hours. My husband finally leaves work in a panic, and we search and call the police. A search and rescue dog finally found her. It took us 6 hours to finally find her. She, to this day, won't tell us where she was at. Fast forward to today. She said her stomach has been hurting for 2 days. She's thrown up once and had diarrhea, none of which happened while my husband and I were around. I just got over a cold and sinus infection, stomach bug, and kidney infection. Jesus, this woman is battling a lot right now. So I feel bad and take her into the pediatric care. On the way, I tell her if she's faking, just tell me so I don't waste time and gas to drive her. It's my last day before I have to go back to work, and I need to get things done. She tells me no, she really is in pain. Tells the doctor the same, but in the waiting, she is laughing and talking normal. The doc suggests us to go to the ER because of how much pain she is in. Now in the ER and ruled out appendicitis, and again laughing and talking just fine, and come to find out she has been exaggerating how much pain she's in. And I'm stuck waiting in a hospital for x-rays and test results. My husband can't switch me cuz he has no gas, and he had to drive 30 minutes into town to come to his doctor. Girl needs to learn grammar. I'm so sorry to the OP. This is really hard to read. I am literally about to cry. I'm so mad. I told my husband he can deal with everything with her from now on. All discipline, appointments, parent-teacher conferences, and everything. He thinks I'm overwhelmed and going too far. I married him and she was a part of the package, so am I the a-hole for telling him this? Edit. Okay, before we read the edit, okay, there's a few ways we could have went about this. I don't necessarily consider you the a-hole for, kind of setting that boundary almost with your husband being like, I'm sorry, but like, I've had it. Like, it's kind of obvious to me that you're the one mostly dealing with this 13-year-old's BS. You're the one who's mostly taking care of, like, her lies and whatnot. And honestly, the fact that she, like, left your kids, who are all under the age of 6 years old, alone, also shows a lack of responsibility. So honestly, I wouldn't call you the a-hole. I just think that you could have went about it differently and been like, okay, we need to set some boundaries, we need to set some rules. Like, she can't be doing this and I can't be always taking care of her. Like, you guys both have jobs, so I get it. Okay, so let's go into the edit. I'd like to clarify some things. First, she is already scheduled for therapy. It took a minute to get her set up. It took a minute to get her set up, and we had to wait for the new year, but her appointment is set for next week. Secondly, I wouldn't be ignoring her or completely erasing her from my life. I just wanted my husband to deal with everything I've been dealing with. I work full-time and still do everything for the kids. He's currently not working because he lost his job when the missing for 6 hours thing happened. I was hoping if I passed the torch on appointments and parent conferences and discipline, etc., then he would understand my frustration and help me. I also texted this to him and did not say it in front of her. I have always advocated for her. I got her into therapy. I got her a dog, hoping she'd feel loved by something if for some reason she didn't feel loved by us. I got her help in school when she was struggling. None of these things would be done if I was not here supporting her in the ways I can. I'm frustrated because it's escalating and wasting time and money. Regardless, I'd always love her. I'm not heartless or washing my hands clean. Thirdly, she doesn't really have anything we can take away. We can't afford sports or extracurricular activities. She doesn't have a phone or a computer. The TV is about what we can take away from her and what we have. We even increased her chores list after the stunt with the dog. I've had countless conversations with her, one-on-one time. Dad is here and it means well, but he doesn't take time with any of the kids and isn't really emotionally available. And Mom comes in and out, sees her on holidays and maybe once every 3 or 4 months. Not super present and is by her choice. She is the one that left she's the one who left her willingly, signed that husband could have sole custody. Okay. I honestly really don't I feel a lot more sympathy towards this because, like, I'm the oldest sibling out of 5, and a lot of the time, even when I get asked to take care of the kids, it's a lot. Taking care of human beings that are growing is a lot. And it's definitely a lot, like, it's a lot on this mom's plate because, like, she got this kid who isn't even her own into therapy. She's like, I care for you like you're my own kid. I'm gonna get you into therapy. Because obviously there's something in this kid's head. There's something in this 13-year-old daughter's head that's telling her she needs to act out in these ways. Like she said in her edit, like, I got her a dog in case she didn't feel loved by us. But the thing is that getting someone a dog can't replace the fact that they might not feel loved by you. You need to ask them, what can I do to show that I care about you? What can I do for you to make like this, our relationship better? And like, it can be a lot. So I wouldn't say you're necessarily the a-hole, but I wouldn't say that you aren't. Like, I would say you are, but you're also not, you know? And just because, like, it's kind of a mix. What do these have to say? It sounds like you're completely overwhelmed and doing your best to manage the tough situation. Your husband needs to step up and share parenting responsibility. I do agree. Like, I do agree with that first comment. Like, my parents are divorced, and so I live with my mom and my stepdad, but, like, because my stepdad met me and my 2 other siblings kind of when we were a bit older, so he met me when I was 14, he didn't really feel like he needed to parent us, but, like, if we needed him or anything like that, like, he's always there for us and whatnot. And I definitely agree, like, the father should take more responsibility into parenting. Like, you guys have 4 kids total in your house, and one mom cannot take care of that on her own. Like, people who do it, I don't know how you do it. You guys are, like, insane. So I do agree. I definitely think the father should start to take responsibility, especially speaking it's his biological daughter. Teenagers tend to do this where they'll test the boundaries and kind of see what they can and can't do, because that's just, like, the part of their developmental stage that they're at. But she's doing more than just testing boundaries. She's continuously lying about these things, and, like, the fact that she left kids unattended Like, sure, the mom was home, but she was asleep and whatnot. Like, doing that kind of thing. Like, this is obviously somebody who's trying, like, this is somebody who's like, I need this structure and I need security and structure and safety. And it's really hard when one parent is doing all the work and the other parent is doing nothing. So I don't consider you the a-hole for actually setting up that boundary and being like, hey, no, you need to be a parent too. So I deem not the a-hole. Okay, next one. And thank God this one's short. Okay, this one was 14 hours ago as well. Okay. Am I the a-hole for being resentful toward my husband after he pressured me into having a baby I didn't want? Based off this title, I would have thought this would have had, like, an essay worth of things. Turns out it doesn't. Okay. I, 31 female, have been married to my husband, who's 33, for 6 years. Okay, so you were 25. Okay, solid. Before we got married, we had a clear agreement that we weren't going to have kids. I never wanted to be a parent, and I thought he felt the same. Honestly, he probably felt the same, like, at the time. Okay, you know what? I'll comment after. About 2 years ago, he started changing his mind. At first, it was little comments like, wouldn't it be fun to have a little one running around? Then it turned into serious conversations where he said he couldn't imagine his life without being a dad. I told him I still didn't want kids, but he kept saying, you'd be such a great mom, or you might feel differently once it's your own. Eventually, I gave in. I figured maybe he was right, and I didn't want to lose my marriage over this. Now, we have a 7-month-old baby. While I love my child, I can't shake the feeling that this life isn't what I wanted. I'm constantly exhausted, my career has taken a back seat, and I feel trapped in a role I didn't ask for. My husband, on the other hand, is thriving. He loves being a dad, but works long hours, leaving most of the parenting to me. Recently, I told him I'm struggling and feel like I was pressured into this. He got upset and said I was being unfair because I agreed to have the baby. He thinks I just need to adjust and stop dwelling on what I wanted before. I feel guilty for feeling this way. I don't want my child to ever feel unloved, but I can't help but resent my husband for pushing me into something I was so clear about not wanting. Am I the a-hole? No. Immediate no. Like, I do not think you're the a-hole because you guys made it clear when you got married that you don't want kids. That was something you made very clear, and you were still making clear even when he made the comments of, like, you'd be a great mom, or, like, you might think differently once it's your own. Like, some people just genuinely don't want kids, and I think your husband wasn't respecting that from you, and if he really loves you, he would have respected that. And I kind of feel weird for suggesting this, but you could have done a compromise of, like, could we get a pet instead? Or something like that. Because, like, I totally understand not wanting to have kids. Like, I personally don't want kids, like, ever. Do I mind kids? Not really. They're fun, but I don't really want any of my own. And the fact that, like, you feel pressured tells me that you were. Like, you felt pressured into having a kid. And so, like, obviously, like, you would have had to agree to, like, you know, create this child. But the fact that you continue to feel this pressure, like, you felt like you were kind of forced into this, kind of tells me that maybe you and your husband aren't the right fit for each other. Like, if he loves you, he would have respected that boundary of you saying, I don't want kids. Like, because having a kid does a lot to your body. It does an insane amount, and a lot of the stuff you can't go back from. So, I definitely agree. I want to see if there's any comments. Okay, so this is kind of more of like a, advice. Okay, daycare for the baby and get your career back on track. He loves being a dad because he isn't home most of the time and nothing has changed concerning his career. His days are basically the same as before the baby, with the exception of whatever time he spends with the child. He got what he wanted, has little change in his routine job, and his job is unaffected and doesn't seem to care about how you feel. You're not the a-hole for resentment, but resentment will eat you alive. So take back your life and what you wanted for it. Like, I definitely agree with that. Like, it is your life and you're a fully grown adult. So at the end of the day, it is your choice. You make that choice for yourself. So, once you're comfortable enough, I definitely would agree, having the baby in daycare. and actually getting your career back, because like it's clear to me that you love your career and like you want what you had in your life. And like the person that commented said, um obviously he doesn't feel any different because like his life is unaffected. The only time that his life gets disturbed is like when he has time with the baby. So there's really nothing for him to do other than that. Like the thing is it's very clear to me that your husband doesn't freaking care. To him, it's just the fact of having these things. Like to me, it feels like he's like, "Oh, I have a wife and I have a kid." Like those are the requirements to have have fully lived your life in his head. But he doesn't want to be a proper partner. He doesn't want to be a proper dad. And if he loves being a dad so much, kind of be like, "Okay, then you take the responsibility. I'm going to go and do my job." I have deduced that none of these people are the a-holes. None of them are. Almost as if I care about people or something. So, with that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with me and think they're not the a-hole, or if you do think they're the a-hole, explain why you believe they're the a-hole in the comments below. And with that, I hope you guys have an amazing day or night, wherever it is you are, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone!